So Hemant first came to us with a desire to work on his 24-year relationship with alcohol. Now, coaching requires two people to do the work. I can guide you, support you, help you understand the patterns that are keeping you stuck. I can give you the tools, but you have to be willing to put in the work. I remember asking Hemant in our very first session together whether he would be willing to give 100%, and he promised he would. And what a journey it's been. Today, Hemant is more than a year and a half sober, and I cannot tell you how incredibly proud we are of him. But what I admire about Hemant is not just the number of days that he's continued to stay sober, but it's the honesty with which he confronted his past and the courage with which he continues to face himself, the choices that he made, the consequences of those choices, and the role he played in where his life was at. That honesty is not easy, but that's where real change begins. Hemanth, of course, talks about alcoholism, but I think this conversation will resonate with anybody who's struggling with an addiction, a difficult relationship, anger, or a pattern that you are struggling to break. The first step is always understanding your story. How did I get here? The second step is understanding where it is that you want to go. And then comes the most important part, taking that first step and then the next, one day at a time. Hemant, thank you so much for trusting us to be a part of your journey. And thank you so much for sharing your story with us today. I'm so excited today to welcome you all to Beyond the Ordinary. Hi, Hemant. Welcome to Beyond the Ordinary. And let me just tell you, I'm so excited to have you here. Let me ask you, how many days sober?
It's 574 days counting today of
Wow.
sobriety. Even I don't believe sometimes that, it's that I haven't touched alcohol for so many days. It's like always been one day at a time, I would say. But looking back at it, it's like almost 1.5 years. My relationship with alcohol has lasted for almost 24 years.
Wow.
Which is half my life. I'm 45 now. Definitely does make you feel something special and something that, you've been able to overcome an addiction, which at one point of time I thought was impossible, like Hemant and thinking of leaving alcohol, though, that was not happening yet.
So they say that alcohol or addiction for that matter, the roots of that go quite deep into our lives, sometimes even into our childhood. So if I could ask you, what was your childhood like?
If I had to describe my childhood, I would say it's not been a very happy childhood. It's been quite a stressful environment I've grown up in. My father was a regular drinker and also he was addicted to smoking as well. So I grew up seeing that as quite normal. When in your childhood days, you're just observing things around you. Sometimes unknowingly you pick it up in your subconscious. Definitely as a child, I do remember I would go to the shop to buy alcohol for my father and also cigarettes from the shop. And also I would see like my father would be like quite serious during the day, but in the evening he's loosened up. And I know, okay, if I have to ask something, is that is a time to talk to my father because he's in a good mood at that time. So that is another pattern which gets registered, like alcohol makes you feel good, relaxed, you're in a good mood. Then whenever we would attend any weddings in our family, like I'm coming from a Punjabi family, so the alcohol would always be there in any of the functions and all that. But also, I also saw the effects of alcohol on my father, on his health. And I grew up with the belief that I would never touch alcohol. But life had other plans for me. It wanted me to learn something from alcohol, I believe.
So you spent your childhood thinking or knowing that you would not touch alcohol or at least believing that.
I hated it. I hated it because I grew up with, like, as I told you, like I've seen my father going through so much of stress. Now, the stress in his business, obviously, that was there. But then under the influence of alcohol, he would act differently. Some days he would be in good mood, sometimes in bad mood. Then there wouldn't be peace at home. There would be fights, arguments. Then I would not like the smell of the cigarette around, looking at ashtrays, the cigarette. But it's not something a pleasant sight to look at, especially when you're growing up as a child,
Yeah.
But I had no option, right, rather than to adapt to that environment. But from the alcohol point of view, what I've seen is it destroys the peace at home. It makes a person do something which he doesn't intend to do. Fights
Yeah.
happening with my father and his colleagues over alcohol, just picking up some arguments and just fighting over nothing, So not a happy sight as a childhood to see that.
And what happened then around 18, 19 that made you pick up that drink?
I had completed my 12th standard and I had traveled. So I live in Goa. So I had traveled to Belgaum for answering the common entrance test. My other friends who are in Goa, they used to drink socially, and I used to give them company, but I used to never drink. I would take a soft drink or a fresh lime soda and sit with them. But when I was with my other set of friends who had come to answer the engineering college, I still remember it was a rooftop restaurant, and we were three of us or four of us, I don't remember, but one of the friend he ordered a drink for himself. It was vodka, and I thought like if I don't drink, or maybe I don't know, nobody forced me as such, but I thought I would fit in the group. It will make me feel cool. You could call it peer pressure, and I said, why not try it? Yeah, Iman, come on, let's try it. So that was the start of my journey with alcohol. Frankly speaking, when I think about it now, yes, at that moment, it definitely makes you feel good. I mean, that was the first drink. It made me feel lighter. So when I came back to Goa, and then when I told my friends, like, "Oh, you never drank with us and you drank with some other friends, not
Yeah.
fair." So now
Yeah.
then I started drinking with my regular set of friends, but it would be limited to just having a 30 ml because I still had that fear, nahi, jada daru nahi pina chahiye, should not drink more because I've seen my
Yeah.
father going it. But it's
Yeah.
okay, let me have it in a controlled way. And I
Yeah.
would sit with that peg for 2 hours, 3 hours in the initial days of my journey with alcohol,
Yeah.
not knowing what it had in store for
Yeah.
me. Yeah,
So at what
correct.
point did it become like, okay, now I'm having it not every day, but at least more often than usual?
So as I said, the relationship with alcohol lasted for 24 years. In
Yeah.
fact, on Saturdays, my T-shirt would say Saturday night full tight.
Saturday night full time.
So
Yeah.
Saturday was a day where you could go overboard with your number of drinks. Because
Yeah.
next day is Sunday and it's
Sunday.
something like normal. Saturday,
Yeah.
hai to you have to drink,
Yeah.
party. Party, you can't dance without alcohol. So I would say from occasional drinking to weekend drinking, and then when I was doing my engineering college, I remember when we used to bunk classes during the daytime, and we used to do a pub hopping, go to different bars, restaurant, and have one peg at different bars. It took me 5 years to complete engineering instead of 4 years. I took 1 year extra for my engineering because I was not studying properly. I like imagine like you bunk classes. Okay, fine. I
Yeah.
was bunking exams.
Yeah.
I was. I'm sitting with my friends and or with myself and drinking, but not going to answer that particular exam. So that was a
Okay.
time when the alcohol was showing its effects, and
Yeah.
but then we always live in denial. It's
Yeah.
okay, and then when you're inside the glass, you're seeing the outside environment through the lens of alcohol. It's
Yeah.
fuzzy, the cloudy vision. When I started working in 2006, so I must have been 26 years, yeah, around 26 to 30. I was working in a job in the bank. So at the end of the day, did not want to go back home early because the environment at home was not very happy one. My father used to drink every day, so I used to avoid going back home on time. So
Yeah.
in that evening 8 to 11 after the work, what do I do? I'm meeting my friends, so what do I do? So chalo, let's have one peg, two peg. So from weekends to alternate days, from a small peg you go to a large. The funny thing or whatever about alcohol is, it slowly increases your consumption without you realizing it. At
Yeah.
first, the first peg makes you feel good, but then eventually you realize that you don't feel anything in that first glass. Then you need a second glass. Then you need a third one. The consumption increases very slowly, unknowingly, and you don't realize it. It's like a trap. Then you get trapped in that. Yeah, then I got married at the age of 30, 31. So then again, I had taken a break in between in terms of not everyday drinking because I was married now and I can't afford to drink home and come. But
Yeah.
then Saturday, Sundays would be there. Like every Saturday night, yes. Sunday afternoons, I used to have my favorite chilled beer. So I used to proudly tell that we have 52 Sundays in a year, and all those 52 days I am drinking beer. Come what may. Even if I have a sore throat, I need my beer. I'm not, I was that loyal to alcohol at that point of
Yeah.
time, or consistent,
Yeah.
you would say,
Yeah. Yeah.
But the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years of my drinking career, my journey, I was very comfortable drinking alone. I was very
Yeah.
comfortable. I didn't need
Yeah.
any friend. I would be at home and I'm doing my work also. I'm doing my work on my laptop and I'm having a glass. So
So
last 7, 8 years, I was
alcohol
very
became a
comfortable.
really good friend.
Yeah. I used to tell like, very proudly, I love alcohol. Alcohol is my best friend. Alcohol
Yeah.
doesn't shout at me, doesn't scold me.
Yeah.
It had become another entity, it was
Yeah.
like, it started with me drinking alcohol, but towards the end, it became like alcohol was drinking me. And I
That's
needed it
beautiful.
every day. Come what may,
Yeah.
I needed it every day. Then you have this irritation within you. Like now it's evening 7:38 and you're getting delayed. Maybe you're in a meeting with a client, or your wife has given you some work, go bring something. You're like, you don't want to do anything. This is my time with alcohol. Don't disturb me. Looking back at the graph, I was in my friend circle, I was the person who should drink the least amount of alcohol, and I became the person who drinks the most of it.
Most. Hemant, did COVID in any way change that for you? Because I feel a lot of people during COVID started drinking even during the daytime because essentially you were home.
Yeah,
Yeah.
COVID did give an opportunity to drink more, and in the afternoon as well, because
Yeah.
I had nothing much to do.
Yeah.
I had started drinking every day in the afternoon as well during COVID. Even the day I took vaccine, I had alcohol when you're not supposed to drink. So that was my
Wow.
commitment to alcohol.
Like, at what point did you think to yourself that this is becoming a problem?
When I started drinking, there were many times when I would overdrink, go overboard, especially on weekends. I
Yeah.
would vomit it out. So
Yeah.
that was a signal I think my body was giving me, like you've crossed your limit or it's not meant for you. But then I used to laugh it out at that time.
Yeah.
So, but if I think about it, those are one of the signals when your body is giving you is enough. You have had enough amount of alcohol. So mornings you would wake up with headaches, but at that moment, like the moment you wake up with a hangover, that's another excuse for you. Chalo, let's have a beer in the afternoon to cure the hangover. So all this
Okay.
was I was not enjoying this at some point of time. There were many occasions where I was drinking alone in a bar, and I was also crying to myself. I was literally crying, tears coming out that I want to leave, but I was feeling helpless. I was stuck.
Yeah.
Like this is not doing good to me. This is not the Hemant I was. Like I would think of my time and I should say, okay, I will never drink alcohol. And now what am I doing? I'm doing every day.
Yeah.
And and then I was a father also. Right now, my daughter is 7 years old,
Yeah.
and I'm coming home every day with smelling of alcohol. I'm doing the same what my father was doing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there was another worry about the effect it would have on my health.
Yeah.
So I would regularly do my blood test and blood work, and
How
then
often
just
was that?
so once a year I would do my scanning of the liver, abdomen, and all.
Yeah.
So and
Yeah.
then I had this fatty liver stage 1 for almost
Yeah.
8, 10 years. Every 4, 5 months I would do my blood work to check my liver function
Everything was
test.
okay. And if
And
the
just
thing was high,
and just before the blood test, 5, 6 days before, I would quit drinking so that my blood test should come proper. But not knowing that
okay.
actually it's not 5 days, it's always a combination of so
Yeah.
many months.
Yeah.
And then there would be sometimes when the graph has gone high, okay, now I need to reduce. So
Reduce.
next 2, 3 months I will reduce. I will still drink every day, but I will reduce my
Yeah.
consumption, or I will take
Yeah.
alternate day therapy. I started a lot of things. I will not drink. I used to
Yeah.
write it down. So all these were pointing out to me that that I need to reduce or quit alcohol, but I was in denial, not admitting
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. So when we are that friendly with alcohol, it also changes you as a person. Like, it changes who you are in terms of what you want to be and who you become. Did you feel that the tendency to lie becomes more, the tendency to be somebody different becomes more, you become more irritable, more angry? Did you see that change in yourself?
Yeah, now that I'm sober for so many days, I can definitely see the difference. But when you're addicted to alcohol, you don't see the difference because that's normal for you.
Yeah.
It's like now I'm outside the glass and I'm
Yeah.
observing it.
Yeah.
So definitely it's like every day morning when you wake up with a headache, you saying
Yeah.
aaj se daru band. या कल
Yeah.
से दारू बंद, the favorite dialogues which we always say.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then as soon as it in the evening, it's okay, let's have a one peg or two peg today. So you're breaking the promises you make to yourself every day.
Yeah.
So that definitely affects you in other parts of your life because you're not keeping up promises. You're not
To yourself.
true to yourself.
Yeah.
So then how would you achieve your other goals in life? Forget about achieving. How would you would not even want to make goals, I would say, in that case,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
the day is controlling you, the alcohol is controlling you, alcohol is become your good friend, it's waiting for you in the evening, waiting for you to open that bottle, pour it
Yeah.
in your favorite glass, put some nice old Hindi music. This is fantastic, you're on the
Yeah.
top of the
This is
world,
life.
and this
Yeah.
is life. बाकी सब
Yeah.
बकवास है, ये सब
Yeah.
पॉडकास्ट वॉडकास्ट सुनना सब पागल हो गए, यहाँ पे किसी को सुनना नहीं चाहिए, you know. That
Yeah.
you live in an illusion.
Yeah.
I would say, your human connection gets replaced by a chemical connection, because the chemicals in your
Wow.
mind
Yeah.
are guiding you. So there's no real human connection with the people whom you love, with your wife, your kids, your brother, your friend. It's more of a chemical connection, I would say.
And did it annoy you when people, I'm sure people around you saw you being drunk or being, really inebriated. Did it annoy you when people told you, Hemant, you're drinking too much?
Like once I remember I told one of my relative, like, I'm drinking with my own money. What's your problem? And he was quite
Yeah.
senior to me. And today when I think that was not the way for me to speak, you become defensive about it. So irritation was there. Your anxiety increases.
Yeah.
Because at that moment, at that particular 1 2 hours, you feel the problems have disappeared, but your challenges are still there. They're waiting for you the next day to tackle it. But you
Yeah.
don't want to tackle it. You start running away from your problems in life, from your
Yeah.
challenges. So that's
Yeah.
another pattern. When you're drinking alcohol, you're taking shelter under the umbrella of alcohol,
Yeah.
and you're refusing to go out and play in the rain. So let's say, imagine if it's raining
Yeah.
and you have the umbrella over you and you're
Yeah.
drinking under the umbrella. But that's a beautiful world out there. You can go out there, get wet in the rains, play, enjoy it. But you don't want to do that. You're like, you're
I'll stay under
withdrawing
my
it.
umbrella.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
stuck.
At your worst phase, did
Especially
you
when you're
feel like
sober, a
you
lot of
have to
things come
hide
out.
from
Your
people to
clarity
drink?
increases. You're
Were
able
you
to take
ashamed of
decisions.
it at any
It,
point
it
of
did
time?
affect
That's
my
my
decision.
question.
The worst I was a person who
phase
could
of
never
my
take decisions
alcoholism
during at that
I would say
time,
the
during
last
my
7 8
24 years of
years
alcohol.
was the
Not that I
worst
can take now,
phases in
but
my
I
alcohol
can take
because I
most of
was
the time the
dependent
decision
on
as
it.
compared to
Now
Yeah.
that.
let's say now
Yeah.
it's
I'm
a
good at
dream
that.
journey. Like I'm going
Clarity
with
is
my
there.
family, my
You're very
wife is there,
clear
my
what
daughter
you
is there,
want. I
my
have my
father-in-law,
goals, my
mother-in-law, and
purpose is
I
there.
have this urge to drink now.
Yeah.
I would mix vodka with water, and put in a mineral water in my backpack, so it looks like
Yeah.
water. And
Yeah.
when you drink it in water, it does not smell much as against in a
Yeah.
soft drink. So I'm like hidingly having it. It was like fooling myself. Or I've even gone to the bathroom of the train to have that one peg so that nobody's
Yeah.
watching me. So I would that
Yeah.
those were all embarrassing moments when I think about it. Like I was
Yeah.
blackouts were happening. I would not remember what conversation I had in the night. So morning when
Yeah.
you get up, you don't remember what you spoke to your client on the phone the previous day,
Yeah.
or to your wife, to your friend, or you
Yeah.
have sent some messages to somebody you were not supposed to send.
Yeah.
So a lot of embarrassing moments.
Yeah.
And your full day, you're feeling very low in energy. All these were indications to me that alcohol is not doing good to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
And I want to leave it. And I did try a couple of times before this to leave alcohol, but I was successful only for a few number of days. And I would again go back to it, because what I realized that my foundation was weak. I
Yeah.
had not done my inner work. I didn't know how to tackle the challenges of every day. So
Yeah.
you have removed the alcohol, but then you need to know how to handle the
Problems that
daily
still
problem
remain.
come up. So if you
Yeah.
don't do your inner work, then I would say you're not being able to be that successful, that there is a probability of you relapsing back soon.
Okay. So people tend to say that in most cases you hit a rock bottom. So what was that rock bottom for you?
Although there were many rock bottom incidents, but there was a particular incident, October, yeah, I still remember, October 24th. So I had a large amount of alcohol on that day in just 1.5, 2 hours. I don't know what came in me. That was the most I had any time had in my entire 24 years of drinking. I was at my brother's flat. So my brother stays down, I stay on top, and my in-laws also were at home. And I was creating a scene, howling, crying loudly, and all that. So there was full drama happening. So that was quite embarrassing in front of my in-laws, and my wife
Yeah.
anyway was getting used to that drama I would do at home, because every time I would come home drunk, we would have arguments.
Yeah.
And that was a worst phase, because even my marriage was suffering. It had come to at that stage, it was like either you choose me or alcohol. It had come to that stage.
Yeah.
If I
Yeah.
had continued drinking, definitely it would have today I would have been staying alone. My wife would have definitely
Left.
left me at
Yeah.
that time. So that was really the most bottom point in my life where I really felt embarrassed when I got up the next day morning. I realized what have I done because of my drinking last night. There was arguments, fight, shouting at home, embarrassment. Our neighbors must have heard it. So that was really like I could not look myself in the mirror
Yeah.
and continue drinking. But I still didn't leave drinking for the next 4 5 days, even after that incident. But
Yeah.
what helped me was is I had started doing my inner work. So I remember June 2nd, coincidentally, even that was June 2nd was the first time I had reached out to you all. I had sent a message to Blossom Ma'am that I need help. And I was asked to give my dominant issues. And I said dominant issue was alcohol because it was
Yeah.
affecting my relationship.
Yeah.
And then I had my coaching session with therapy session with Blossom Ma'am and my first coaching session with you. And
Yeah.
I remember before the start of the coaching session, you told me that Hemant, I will give my 200% to it, but I need your 200% also. And I
Yeah.
said, yes, I want to come out of this.
Yeah.
And so looking back at that, it took 5 6 months to reach that stage of sobriety,
Yeah.
of doing the inner work, attending various workshops, mindset
Yeah.
mastery, various online workshops which you all had organized. And I
Yeah.
remember in September we had the first empowered workshop in Jim Corbett,
Yeah.
which I had
Yeah.
attended. That
Yeah.
was in September. Then this incident happened in October,
Yeah.
and when during this incident, I was having coaching with you, like me and my
Yeah.
wife, we were having couple coaching. And I remember the last week of October, we were having a call where I was telling you about this incident, this
Yeah.
embarrassing moment, what had happened in my life. And you had asked me a question that, Heman, can you quit drinking for 7 days? I still remember that question because that question created some shift within me. It's like, Heman, can't you just leave drinking for 7 days?
Yeah.
You were on the call, my wife was on the call, and I said, not 7 days, Ritika, I'll leave it for 21 days.
Yeah.
Although after that word came out of my mouth, I was like, oh God, what a fool I have been. Why
What have
did
I
I say
said?
21 days? But abhi bol diya to karna hai. And another tool which really helped me at that time, but you had told me to journal it out that every day morning write, I am sober today. And at the end of the day, you have to have a tick
Thank you.
mark against it.
Yeah.
I think that really helped in the first phase of 21 days to keep me going sober.
Hemant, right here, I want to say something very important. You've talked about all the tools that you were given. You've talked about working with us at Aikya. But what I want to show, or what I want to tell our viewers very clearly, is that we hit rock bottom. And like you said, some of us hit rock bottom many times. But the difference is not in the rock bottom or in hitting your lowest low. The difference is in what happens immediately after that. Because in your case also, if we look at it, after that was when you sat with what had happened. And that's the difficult part, because a lot of us, we hit rock bottom, we don't sit with it, we don't reflect
Correct.
about
We
what
don't
that,
reflect.
yeah, what that rock bottom actually meant, and we keep going, and therefore we find that we keep being stuck in a loop. This is not just alcohol, this is even toxic relationships. So if you're stuck with grief and anxiety, we don't sit down to reflect about what that whole episode
True.
meant for us. And in fact, I will even take your reflection based on what you said, and I will dissect that even to say that a lot of us, even after that rock bottom, there are very few of us who will reflect. Even of that few, most of us will ask the question, whose fault is this? And we look outside to blame the wife, the husband, the parents. I had a terrible childhood. That's why I'm like this. And again, when you reflect in that way, you go back into the loop and we continue spiraling. But in your case, like you said, the reflection happened, and you said what you said was, what have I done? And that is really the magic, is right there, is what have I done? Is when we start to point fingers and see, how am I affecting my health, my life, my relationships, and what can I do to change it? You agree with me?
Yeah, now that you're talking about it, is 100% what you said is correct. Because before this incident of October, there were many rock bottoms also in my life.
Yeah.
Like there were incidents where in a wedding function, I remember it was in Mangalore. Probably there must be, I mean, 200 people. The entire village was there in their house,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I got knocked out. And it was a very embarrassing moment for my wife, for my father-in-law, mother-in-law, seeing me getting knocked out in front of 100, 200 people, and I've been carried away to my home there.
Wow.
and my daughter witnessing it at the age of four,
Yeah.
5 or something, which was very embarrassing, okay, Papa,
Yeah.
what's happening to you? But I didn't reflect on it the next day. I blamed it on the ki यहाँ का alcohol strong था Karnataka का. I blamed it on that. And today I will have the alcohol which I bought from Goa, which is more milder. And and to
Okay.
prove it, in the next
Yeah.
20 days function, because there was a series of function, I was drinking
Yeah.
alcohol which I had carried from Goa, and see, I'm perfect today. I
Yeah.
drank more than yesterday, and today. Yesterday it was not my mistake. Something had happened in that drink,
Yeah.
so I didn't reflect on it. So, but when this incident happened in October 24th, the reason why I reflected is because I learned to reflect through you, to your
Yeah.
coaching techniques, which
Yeah.
I was doing. I was doing journaling, attending workshop, and so I
Yeah.
was becoming more self-aware, and
Yeah.
that is how I learned to reflect, and I started reflecting it, and then the change happened. Otherwise, I had tried leaving alcohol for so many times before this, and I was only successful for a few number of days. I think the longest was 13 days or 14 days at a stretch.
So what was those first few days? Because I can see your trigger was once it becomes evening, then you had to drink. So it would have been really tough the first few days
Definitely
without your
now,
best friend.
without my best friend. But now, since I had made a commitment to you, to my wife, that I'm not going to drink for 21 days. Although I
Yeah.
had done commitment earlier also, and I've gone hidingly I would have alcohol. But this time it was
Yeah.
different since I had reflected on myself. But as soon as it got in the evening, I had stopped going out in the evening for those few days for parties or meeting my
Yeah.
clients. Just
Yeah.
to consciously try to be at home at that time.
Yeah.
And thankfully, I had the support of my wife, my brother, my friends. Everybody was quite supportive. And I told them that next 21 days, I'm not going to touch alcohol.
Yeah.
And so don't call me for alcohol also. So they were like very happy about
So
it,
you were
most of
vocal
them.
about it. You were not
I was
hiding the
vocal.
fact that you were trying to be sober. You were
No,
out
no,
there.
no. I would say that's a very important aspect that we should not hide it.
Yeah.
I declared it that next 21 days, because the more you declare it, your chances are more of doing it, because now that you have told everybody, right? So up to the call, it was only you and my wife you know about it, but now my
Yeah.
brother knows about it, my friends know about it. Whoever I'm
Yeah.
meeting, I'm saying, no, I'm not drinking for next 21 days. So you're declaring it to the world, to the universe, that I'm not having. So I think that also plays a very important role, that don't hide it, I would say. Just be open about it. There's no.
Because and more people become your allies to help you stay on the track.
And another thing is, like, in the evening, I had discussed with you, like, I would have a fresh lime soda or a tonic water in the same glass where I used to have alcohol.
Yeah.
So that did help me in the initial days. So it was in the evening at that time I would sit down with the glass, but minus the alcohol. So that was more of a like a fooling my mind, like
Yeah.
psychological
Like
effect.
keeping the pattern going but taking off the alcohol.
Yeah, which I did consult with you, and I was like worried that will this become a pattern? And you had said, don't worry, your first focus should be to come off alcohol.
Yeah.
And if you are able to come off alcohol, this is just a child's play coming
Yeah.
out of this pattern, which I
Yeah.
agree completely. Now I don't need that pattern. Now there are so many times if I even forget about that trigger at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, I'm so immersed in what I'm doing in my work or with my family that I don't even feel the need to go for that particular glass.
Yeah.
Yes, there are some occasions when you're attending a party and you see an overdose of alcohol around you, but I don't feel the craving for alcohol. But then, yes, I'll have a tonic water, a fresh
Yeah.
lime soda, just a glass or so, sometimes.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but the cravings have gone completely. And
Yeah.
another thing is, let's get over with this 21 days fast. Then I'll get back
Yeah.
to drinking.
Yeah. Yeah.
मतलब
Okay.
अभी सिर्फ 21 days ही है. अभी commit, since I've done a commitment, let's go get over my commitment, and
Yeah.
then let's go back to my best friend.
So, okay, so 21 days came and went. What happened on day 22?
Before 21 days came, probably when I was on my 15th and 16th day, I was observing myself on a daily basis. I was feeling wonderful. I was waking up fresh, full of energy. I was having the energy throughout the day. The irritation reduces throughout the day. My anxiety levels had come down. I was having a good sound sleep in the night, undisturbed. Otherwise, when you're drinking and you're getting knocked out and you're going to sleep, at that moment you're knocked out for 2, 3 hours. But then you get up early in the morning or
Yeah.
something, and then your sleep is not that sound. But now I was getting beautiful sleep in the night and no withdrawal symptoms. Thankfully, I'm grateful for that. So I was like, why should I then go back to it? And then I was like, if I could leave alcohol for 15 days, let me leave it for another 10 days. Because my worry was if I don't do another commitment of extension, I would again go back to my best friend. So I made a commitment as soon as I complete 21 days, I will extend it for 9 days. So if I can do 21 days, then I can do easily 9 days because this was a pattern I had followed in my business. When I left my job in 2010 and I entered my business, the first year was very tough learning. But when I survived that first year, I said, if I could survive this first year, I can survive the next year, so
Yeah.
on. So somewhere that thinking was there within me, and it helped me in my alcohol also. That if I can survive for 21 days, I can survive another 9 days.
Yeah.
And then again extended, and I did my journaling that I'm sober today, I'm sober today, because that was
Yeah.
something very important at that point of time for me.
Yeah.
Then I also think like if I can leave alcohol in the month of November, so I think December also should be fine. So at least for 50 to 75 days it continued, where I kept extending my deadlines and writing it down. So I would say, when you look at that particular day, one day at a time. Because the moment you tell yourself that I'm going to quit alcohol for the entire life, it makes you feel overwhelmed, creates a lot of pressure on you.
Yeah.
But when you say that I'm not drinking for the next 5 days or the next one day, next 2 days, you feel that's fine.
Yeah.
And when you're able to overcome that small target, it gives you the confidence for the next. So one day at a time, one step at a time, I would say. So there would be temptation. There
Yeah.
would be environments where it's okay. Then people would say, "Arey, ek hi peg hai, just have it." See how we
Yeah.
control. We only have one every day or two every day.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would say no. If I start drinking now, you'll have to be with me in the morning. So it's better you don't ask me to.
Yeah.
Because at every parties in my earlier stages, I would be the last person leaving the party, and now it's the opposite. I'm the first one who want to leave the party, but my daughter doesn't want to leave. She wants to keep playing, and I'm like, then I'm telling myself
Let's
that's
go.
karma coming back. Now I have to stay.
What you said was once the alcohol goes away, your problems still remain. So, how did you deal with those problems? Because, yeah, the alcohol is gone. We were basically using the alcohol to cope. It was a coping mechanism to deal with all the problems that you said you didn't want to deal with. So, what helped you with those issues that remained?
The challenges, the problems in your life will always be there. And life is full of challenges, otherwise it
Yeah.
becomes boring as well. If you have no challenges in life, it's like a straight graph.
Yeah.
There has to be up and
Yeah.
down every day.
You don't learn anything.
You don't learn anything. Correct.
Yeah.
When you learn tools to handle yourself, I would say it's like a rebirth of Hemant. This is like part two of my life. It's a complete transformation. What I was earlier, like people who know me from childhood, of at least for my teens, and they see me now, they definitely see there's a lot of changes in me. So like a typical day would start like in the morning. I get up, I have my morning practices in terms of my journaling practice, meditations, then my physical activity.
Yeah.
Then again in the evenings I have my journaling practice. I've started meditating in the evening as well.
Yeah.
So what I've realized is you don't need an external substance for you to feel good about yourself.
Yeah.
We have it within us. We can definitely feel good. We just have to probe and explore more of within us. So
Yeah.
definitely. And alcohol is something, it's like dopamine, instant dopamine, like which is giving you that
High.
dopamine for one high for that 1 hour, 2 hour.
Yeah.
But after
Yeah.
that in the morning, when the alcohol is withdrawn from your body, and you're not able to face that problem, because now the problem which you thought you'll avoid is still there staring at you.
Yeah.
But you can't look eye to eye at the problem now. You need alcohol. Again, you feel again, let's wait till evening, then we'll handle this problem. But the problem is not going to wait for you till evening or till morning or afternoon. You
Yeah.
have to look eye to eye into the challenge and overcome that challenge.
So, without the alcohol, essentially what you're saying is that the problems still remain, and eventually you still have to use your tools, you still have to walk that talk, and you still have to deal with those problems.
Correct.
That is not going to go away. But the fact that you are pretending that it does not exist by drinking alcohol and drowning yourself out, that is what.
That's a temporary
away.
solution.
Yeah.
It's and when you use that temporary solution, you will see that the problem which was smaller becomes quite high. It's like then it becomes a mountain of problems.
Yeah.
But one day the problems will overtake you. How far
Yeah.
would you run away from it?
How far?
The because when you leave alcohol and when you start being true to yourself, when you're the promises you make, you're fulfilling it. It helps you in dealing with your everyday problems because that strength
Yeah.
is there within you to handle that problems,
Yeah.
and you're able to handle it better.
Yeah.
And in fact, the you don't have many problems in your life then
Yeah.
because you're very clear in what you want. When you're when there is clarity in your mind, you're
Yeah.
clear on what you want, so the problems also disappear, or the power of the challenges on you disappear. You're able to
Yeah.
be more powerful than your challenges in life. Like the
Yeah.
power, like we all have the power within us, which we can overcome any challenges in our life. But this thinking, this mindset only comes when you're clear, when you're sober. It's like, when you're journaling every day, you're processing your emotions on a daily basis. Now after having alcohol, how would I journal? What would I
Yeah.
write? I
Yeah.
would not
What
be
would
able
I?
to write. So then
Yeah.
there's something called as, mental constipation. You're not processing your emotions on a daily
Yeah.
basis, so it's
Yeah.
so there's constipation in your mind.
The Hemant that you are today and the Hemant that you were at your worst, what's the difference between those two Hemants?
A lot of difference, I would say. The Hemant you see today is clear on what he wants. The Hemant today has goals and is working towards his goals. Every day is a balanced day. In fact, my need for going on vacations has reduced. Not that I don't want to go for holidays, but I
Yeah.
don't feel that need because my every day is balanced. Mix of emotions are always there, challenges are there, but I'm
Yeah.
able to be in a positive state most
Yeah.
of the time. The earlier Hemant, I would be most of the time, I would be in a victim mode. Life ऐसे ही है, because my childhood was this way, I'm this way now. So all those victim playing, it stops. So
Yeah.
today's day is very different. In the evening, when I'm back home, I'm spending more time with my family. I'm telling bedtime stories to my daughter. So there was another incident which I would like to tell. Like I was asking my daughter, like now when I'm telling her stories in the night, like earlier when I should talk to you. Do you used to get smell of alcohol? She's like, yes, Papa, I used to get, and that's why I should not come close to you. That was really hit me, all this, which will never make me go back to alcohol when I hear all this. It's not
Yeah.
definitely worth it. It's like I grew up in an environment with alcohol and cigarettes all around, seeing it, and I was repeating the same pattern
Yeah.
in my family life now. So imagine me coming home every day and my daughter opens the door and my wife opens the door and I'm smelling of alcohol. It's not fair as
Yeah.
a husband or as a father,
Yeah.
to have that environment at home. And that really hit me when my daughter said, that's why I was not coming close to you. I'm able to be more in the present moment
Yeah.
in my current phase of life. In fact, I'm enjoying the challenges which are there every day because I'm able to tackle them, and it gives you a certain kind of confidence, the real confidence. So alcohol
Yeah.
is the earlier, I also had confidence earlier, but that was the false confidence, the illusion, where
Yeah.
you feel you're confident and there is no problem. But sobriety gives you the real confidence of facing life head on, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Consistency was always there with me because when I was drinking, I was drinking every day, so I was consistent.
Consistent. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we all have the energy within us of being consistent. We always tell, I don't have the willpower to leave my addiction.
Yeah.
It could be any addiction, it could be alcohol, any substance. But I would say we have the willpower to leave that addiction because you're anyways been loyal and so consistent to your addiction on a daily basis. But the moment you replace that addiction with a better habit,
Yeah.
so the energy is there. You just have to replace the bad habit with a good habit. So
Yeah.
anybody says ki I can't leave drinking or I can't leave this particular substance, I don't believe that because you're doing it. You have that consistency in you.
Yeah.
Just change your mindset. One day at a time, one step at a time, I would say. It's like the
Yeah.
same way goes in your addiction. Keep your focus on that particular day, on that
Yeah.
particular evening,
Yeah.
and then you reach your destination, which is a very beautiful destination. Once you reach there, once you experience sobriety, then you don't feel like going back to your addictions.
So before we end today, I want to leave you with a few things from Hemanth's story. First is honesty. Be honest with yourself about where your life is at, because you cannot change the things you are unwilling to acknowledge. The second is to do the inner work. As Hemanth said, it is really important to strengthen your core. The third is reflection. Many of us hit rock bottom more than once. We damage a relationship. We do something that we regret. We have that health scare. And instead of sitting with it and asking ourselves, what just happened? What did I do? We carry on as if nothing happened. So what? Ask yourself the difficult questions. What is this costing me? Do I want to continue living this way? What can I do to change my circumstances? Which brings me to perhaps the most important thing of all, taking responsibility. There is a line from Spider-Man that goes, with great power comes great responsibility. Today, I'm going to turn that line on its head, because with responsibility comes great power. Because the moment you take responsibility for your life, your choices, you have the power to change or completely transform your life. And of course, the last thing that I would say is that if you're struggling with addiction or just going through a really bad phase, always remember you have help, and there is no shame in raising your hand and asking for help. Reach out to us, reach out to someone that you can talk to who's going to help you get through that phase. You don't have to change your entire life today. You just have to take that first step. Thank you so much for listening today, and thank you so much for being with us on Beyond the Ordinary. And from all of us at Aikya the One, we wish you a wonderful day. Bye. So your previous mantra was Saturday night full tight.
My
Now what
t-shirt,
is it?
sir.
Yeah, on your t-shirt. Now what is your affirmation?
Saturday night sleep early.